Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a big show lined up as always. And I've never tell you that we got a bad show lined up if you ever noticed that. But there's another good show coming up, and we work hard on this. We enjoy doing it. We appreciate your viewership. High today is going to be actually 78 degrees and a low is 65, so it's going to be a pretty day. May have some rain coming on later tonight or maybe some tomorrow, but it's going to be a pretty good day. Water temperature, guess what? It's at 71.6. Now we're going to talk about fishing a little bit later and what that water temperature done, but it's going up now. It's getting back into the 70s. I don't think it's going to get below the 70s anymore. We'll see, but we're about at that point here in April to do that. River Heat is brought to us by Sandhill Seafood. Good folks up there and good seafood, good fresh seafood. Looking at the Appalachian Coast of Bluntstown, it's level, like we said, all weekend on through Monday. It's right at 7.9, right at 8 foot, and it's staying that way the rest of this week. Choctahatchee at Caryville, 7.4. And it went up over a little bit on Sunday and Monday. It went up, and that was not anticipated when we did the chart for the weekend. But on Saturday it stayed level, but on Sunday it started going up, and then it started dropping off Sunday night. And it's got a slow drop to it now, but it's reading a 7.4. So both rivers around the 7, 8 foot mark. Okay, let's take a look at our marine, the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Today is April the 3rd, and we're looking at pretty decent tides and good tides for the weekend. And we're looking at the high tide at 11:15 this morning and low at 9:18 tonight. Incoming, it's going to be aided by that south wind. It's going to be going 10 to 20. So you've got an incoming tide this afternoon and a south wind, so there'll be a lot of water moving around up into the bays, up into the flats. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us. Now let's look at some pictures, and the first picture is sort of fascinating to me because it typifies, if you love fishing, you just love fishing. This is, all right here, Jeremy Brooks on top and John Law on bottom. That's a captain and mate. They run the Captain Law. John Law, the bottom picture there, John always loved to fish. He and Dad lived around the bayou from us when he was growing up, and he loved to fish, and he was a natural fisherman. And I always knew he was going to do something with fishing. He ended up being a captain. He got his own boat out there, Captain Anderson, called the Captain Law. And Jeremy Brooks is just a top mate. They do a good job. So, but what I'm talking about, when I was doing the interviews and all on the show, I got tickled at a lot of these little captains and all. You think they wouldn't like to fish, but they fish hard during the summer. But when they, in the spring and the fall, when they get off that boat, most of them wanted to go freshwater fishing. I just was fascinated with it. Joe McKinney and a lot of those people, they love the freshwater fish. So it's still, in this generation, is still doing it. So I just wanted, that picture meant a lot to me, seeing that. Okay, check this out. Ronald Mathis. Ronald's a good hunter. Double beard, one beard 10 1/4, one beard 8 inches, and the spurs 1 1/4. Ronald Mathis sent that into Bay County Longbeard. All about Randy also Brooks. It's in this Panama City hunting. Now listen to this. He went turkey hunting once last year for the first time ever. He went this morning for the second time ever and got this turkey. Now you talk about, you don't have to be an expert. I mean, that's proof right there. You just go over there and be in the area and just get them up there. Eric Blind sent this in. Now, this is a good one too. Eric turned 50 years old this year. Have hunted for as long as I can remember. My first year turkey hunting and my third trip out this year, and got the double. Very blessed and tagged out, hooked for life now. Now I understand what he's saying. This is the first year, he's 50 years old, first year he's ever turkey hunted. And on his third trip, he gets 2 turkeys. That's simple. That's 2 people in a row right there. It's not complicated. You just got to get out there with them. I thought this was interesting. My buddy Rusty Kelly, he was having a good day until some ignorant people on a boat that didn't have any business on a boat came by too close and cut the line on my reels and lost all my tackle. You see what he's doing. Let me explain what was going on, and we talk about it every week on the fishing report almost. When you're out there Spanish mackerel, during Spanish mackerel season, we'll talk about it. And you're out there fishing, everybody's going around a big circle and all. And always some yahoo that just don't know what, he just starts going one another direction, and what happens, you'll cut the line, and it's aggravating, and most people don't do it intentionally. They just do it out of lack of knowledge of the law, or either just completely worry about what themselves and their boat. So anyway, y'all be careful out there, and always watch out for the fellow man. Fred Meyer sent this in. He and Carter had a great day fishing the Emerald Coast Redfish Series. They're a little shy of 12 pounds, and this over here in East Bay, okay? Got some good pictures. Here it is right here. Good picture of fishing with the sun in that little Emerald Coast Classic in East Bay. And they did well. They won. I'll show you the results in a minute. Here's a classic picture. One of my former students, Carson Davidenko. And Carson, probably 23, 24 years old now, loves to hunt, but isn't that a classic picture of quail hunting in North Florida? You got the pine trees, got a broom sage field. You can tell that area has been burned over the years and cleared. You can see a little bit of the char on the pine trees. The dogs working. I just think that's a classic picture of quail hunting in the Florida Panhandle. Carson Davidenko. Junior Kelly is why Pam sent this in. Junior played ball for me way back in the day. And Junior is a very good turkey hunter. All right, got up in Calhoun County. Good job, Junior. Check out this guy. How about Ken Paramore? Was it a good weekend for turkey hunting? Ken said, the Lord truly blessed me this morning. First, a personal sunrise service, followed later with an awesome experience, as they all are, when he called one into harvest. I'm on the board after getting after it almost every day for 2 weeks. A 9 3/4 inch beard. Good job, Ken Paramore. He got after it. Okay. Ernie Cabot, bass fishing out of his kayak. Ernie's a good fisherman. Here are the results of the Emerald Coast Redfish circuit. We won't go all. The first place team on the far right is a total 12 pounds, 12.2 pounds. And then second place is Fred Myers and Carter Myers at 11.7. It goes on down. What's interesting though, if you can see from 14th place on down, nobody caught a fish, okay, which is 10 names. I don't want to call out names. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, but what I want to encourage you to do, you can fish, especially these smaller tournaments, Emerald Coast and all, where not a whole lot of people. There are 23 boats out there. You know, the 10 people, on about half of them end up catching redfish. 10 boats didn't even catch a redfish. You do at least that good. So if you're interested in doing it, I'd encourage you to do it and get out there and give it a try. That's good camaraderie, good folks there. I know a lot of them, a lot of good fishermen, and they do a good job. And here are the two winners right. Let me find their name. Jeff Russell and George Johnston. Here they are here, Jeff and George. Good job, fellas. This is interesting, okay? Hey, Winston, just wanted to give a fish report. Okay, this is here from Bear Hazlip of South Walton. Hey, Winston, just wanted to give a fish report from South Walton beaches. The pompano bite was hot. I missed 2 and landed 4. 3 of which were caught on the same time, at the same time on the 3-hook rig. Talk about a fight of 10-pound light tackle. Spanish running close to the beach as well. Pompanos were caught using live sand fleas tipped with fish bites. And here's the, let's see, I got a picture. Okay, here's one. Here they are right here on the table. Good job, Bear. And then there's a nice one right there. So South Walton has some good catches, okay? So, all right, that takes care of pictures. I took a whole segment, but all that interesting things from, you know, freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing, and quail hunting and all. That's all the things goes on here. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. You know, it's the early part of April. I always look at the April calendar, and probably one of the biggest things for the outdoorsmen along the waterfront here along the coastline is what's going to happen to the red snapper. And that's, you know, the ruling is going to be put in April 25th and 26th down in Fort Myers, I believe. So we'll know about it. That's one of the big things on the outdoorsman calendar. We'll talk about some other April activities on our outdoor calendar too. But that's a big thing everybody's anticipating. You know, it looks like, you know, we've talked to different people. They were going to do 12 days here and 12 days there. But it looks like, from all I can gather now, it's going to be 24 days put together in the whole area. So we'll check that out and keep you posted on it. Now, I also mentioned yesterday, showed the little study I always did on the gotcha plugs for Spanish mackerel fishing. And I just wanted to bring some in this morning. Basically, I keep all my different things, like this is just a tray full of stuff for Spanish. And different colors, but this is one I was talking about, the redhead and silver body. If you notice, I don't have any gold bodies, I don't have, you know, they call it less than any of them, but a redhead, and also that redhead there is always popular, red and orange, and then that yellow, and they both do real well casting, you know, from the surf or from the pier. So that's what you want to use, and like I say, I've got a bunch of them, and they'll come, and here's a brand name too, it's a Gotcha plug, okay? That's a white one I still have in the box. I'm gonna try to, I may give that away on the show. I don't know if I'm gonna use it or not. But anyway, I do have that white one. Now listen, if you're trolling, and we've talked about it before, this is what you'll need for trolling, okay? This is the rig's already all set up. It's just a simple outfit with a silver spoon at the end of it, and it's really called a mackerel tree. And the best thing about these, they don't cost much, they're real simple. The worst thing about them, if you got kids fishing, they're gonna get tangled up some, but you just have to be patient and untangle them. And also, I was down at Blue Water. Remember we had some guests here when Mitch Coleman came, and they talked about one of the things they're doing was putting what they call a coho spoon at the end of it instead of a gold or silver spoon there. And I was down there the other day, and they were telling me, when we talked about it on the show, that was about 2 weeks ago, they actually sold out within 2 days. They sold every one of them they had to order some more. So y'all let me know how you did on them. I appreciate y'all going down there and getting those coho spoons. And you know, they come from the Pacific Northwest. But anyway, so have a collection of different plugs and all, and for the season. So one of the things I like to do is keep them separate, and that's why I'm saying in this box here, I just keep everything there. I've got stuff for, you know, that's why you have trays in all your tackle boxes. Okay. Now, I was thinking about this last night. We went fishing on the weekend. We were just down at the Cape, and I went out there, and Bill and Donna came down, and Gail and I just wanted to get out on the water, and we were fishing from the surf. But I knew when I got down there, first thing I can look at it, I've been around nature my whole life, and I can look at it and I can tell where you can, what's going to happen usually on the event of what you're doing. So we were down there, and we drove in there. I said, man, that water's muddy. It don't look good. We had a full moon Friday night. We had no tides and a full moon and muddy water. So I said, we'll just enjoy our company, which we did. We had a ball. But one of the things with becoming one with nature, I got to thinking about that, like I say, and it just comes from spending time. One key to it is not how smart you are or anything, is how much time you spend out there and just let it soak in. I used to have a saying with my classes. I would tell them on occasion we'd be talking about outdoors. I said, really and truly, you have to become one with nature, and I'd write that on the board, one with nature. Of course, everybody envisions doing the yoga by the big oak tree and all that, but I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about, I started writing stuff down last night to explain it, and what it is, there are three things. You got to get out there, you understand the rhythm of nature. I'm talking about getting on the creek or up in the woods, and just, it has a rhythm to it. You got that morning activity, fish are biting, you got the squirrels are moving in the woods and all that, that's a rhythm. And then pretty soon everything just sort of quietens down. And you get used to that rhythm. And then sometimes the weather changes that rhythm, but it'll all be there together. So once you understand that rhythm, the second thing, after you understand the rhythms, then you got to connect it to what you're going to be doing in outdoors. And Saturday was a perfect example. I connected it. I knew right away if it was just me, I'd put things back in my truck and go on the bayside and try to catch a redfish. But we had some folks with us and all, and we sat out there and had a good time. Once you connect it, then you start understanding what they're going to do, where they're going to come from, what the water's going to do. All that nature, all this comes from being out there, spending time in it. And then the benefits, of course, is your enjoyment of it, and you reaping some outdoor game or fish, and just being with people who love the outdoors. So I'd use that term, and these, of course, 17, 18-year-old kids had no clue when I say become one with nature. Now it's gotten even worse because they don't understand it now because they just don't spend much time at all in it. And that's why I'm always encouraging us to take young people camping and take them outdoors and all. But when you do, you really, one of the biggest things is when you take them to a tree stand, they want this to go with them. And really, and if you're sitting there for an hour and don't see anything, you sort of can't blame them. So they want to do that. So they always want some kind of activity. But just getting out in the woods and sort of putting all electronics down, walking through the woods, sitting down and observing. And most of y'all know what I'm talking about if you've done this in outdoor stuff. And being around the water, seeing what the water's going to do. I know the old timers, they would the first thing they did was look in the morning, they see what the tide was doing, and see where the wind was blowing from. Because they knew that then that's how they planned their day. And that was in a diary of 1882, Captain Lambert Ware. First thing he did was write down where the wind was going, because he knew he had to make his day according to that. So anyway, my point being, you may not go out there and spend a lot of time in it, but once you become one with nature and sort of know what's going on, know the signs, and know what's going on, it's like my dad. He swore by the full moon in May. That was his highlight of his fishing year, was fishing before the full moon in May and after full. Now he fished a lot, but he would guarantee fish at that time of year, and April also. So you got, now coming up, we've got a full moon coming up at the end of the month. I promise you, about a week before that, those fish, if the water's right, those fish are going to really be biting good. So my point being, understand the signs of nature. The only way you're going to understand the signs of nature is getting out there in nature and relaxing and observing. Okay, I think y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us. Let's take a look at our Blue Water Outriggers fishing game time for today. We're looking at 3:04 to 5:04 this morning. We just passed it. And this afternoon, 3:28 to 5:28. And I tell you what, things could be hopping if that front's sort of coming through and things start moving around. If you get those ideal times, you get that combined with some front and barometric pressure movement, that's some excellent times. That's when you sort of have some really good, memorable days. Okay, one of the things, the Howard Creek boat landing, I keep hearing talk about what's going on, and I'm asking you to let me know officially what's going on, because I've heard, you hear all kind of rumors and all. I've heard it's been some of that BP money. Some people sold it to the BP, use BP money, but they're going to really fix it up. Now, that's good news and bad news. That's good news for the people coming in from different places, and it's bad news for the people that don't want a lot of people coming in down there. So I don't know. It's going to be really nice, what I'm saying, and I don't know what they're going to charge for it, but I think the county of Gulf County, my understanding, Gulf County has bought that and going to develop it more, and that's the thing about something like that. The good news, you're getting all fixed up, and like I say, the bad news, you're getting a lot of folks down there. So anyway, let me know what's going on with the Howard Creek boat ramp. Officially, let me know what's going on, not what you heard, because I've heard a lot of stuff. One other thing too, I saw where Torreo State Park, the state bought 50-something acres adjacent to Torreo State Park and added it to there. So I was glad to see that. One of the things this time of year you can take a look at is going, we talk about going in the woods in springtime, and we've talked about this before. In early spring like this is a good time to go shed hunting, antler sheds, and it's a lot of fun. And I was looking at it last night because last time I was reading about it, I don't do a lot of it. I tell you where a good place to go though, at your state parks where we see all these big bucks at the state park. Those sheds got to be in a very confined area. So, I mean, you can find them out there, but I'm talking about walking in the woods and all kind of areas to walk in. And one of the things, people now training dogs to find that antler shed. It's fascinating doing that. And I went through a period of about 3 generations of Labrador retrievers when I had them. And I was trained, I really got into training my dogs well. And we really had some good times with those dogs. They were so well-mannered and so smart, and they just always wanted to please you. And I did all kind of training with dogs. And probably about a 10 or 12-year period of time, I really spent a lot of time doing it. So I want to see what people recommend, what the experts recommend for the best dogs for hunting sheds, the best breed or best species. And here we go. The first one to talk about training a shed hunting dog. And the first one, check this out, okay? The first one I recommend, number 1, is a Labrador Retriever. Benny Forehand, does that look familiar? Buddy Benny's got some yellow labs, and the first one to talk about is a Labrador Retriever. And these are really smart dogs too. They do a good job. They're just wonderful dogs. The second one was a pointer, and I thought that was interesting, but they'll get up on the shed and just point it out like that. And they're hardworking, they're loyal, and I was just surprised to see the pointer at number 2. Okay, number 3 was it's right here at the bottom, American Foxhound. Okay, the one right there at the bottom there, the Foxhound. And they just have a good instinct on them. Okay, now the Beagle. Now this has got to be fun for you Beagle lovers. The Beagle is just a wonderful dog. I guess I've had a little bit of all kind of dogs, but a Beagle. they don't get away from you too far. They got those short legs, but they love this order. They bounce when they walk, and I know you've seen beagles before, and there was a group of guys that always deer hunted with beagles because they could just sort of keep up with them, where they put these walkers and all these other species running the deer. They'd take off and, you know, be gone 5 miles before you get your truck around there, whereas beagles just sort of just plod along, and but their nose is something else. So beagle is a good dog. And stop and think about you training them. It's not hard to train them because you got some deer horns, you let them smell them and then throw them out there, and when they bring it back, you just reward them. It's as simple as that. All right, another species they talk about, the bloodhound, and that makes a lot of sense, the bloodhound. There's a lot of songs been written about a bloodhound and the nose of a bloodhound, so that would be a good one. And then a Weimaraner, and that's a beautiful dog. And there's a sporting dog, and he likes to do stuff like this. And I love a dog with short hair when you're out in the woods like that. That short hair is very beneficial as they run through the woods and all. And then that's basically, then a little puddle pony. You ever heard that one, Jeff? I haven't either. Well, that might be one of those new exotic species of dogs. But anyway, those were the top recommended dogs for hunting sheds and training them. And they have one thing in common, every one of them. They have very strong noses. They can smell good, and they're loyal and they're obedient. So if you get an opportunity and still you like to get out in the woods, you like to have your dogs and all, you want to do something in the off season, to me that would be a whole lot of fun to do that. So think about that. And one thing about, you know, if you train them to do that, then they'll be trained to do other things. And like I say, I did some serious training there about 10 or 12 years. And it's a lot of fun. The only drawback on that is very time consuming. You got to just spend time with them, and then you have to start adjusting, you know, can I do this or should I do this? And we went through about 3 generations of yellow labs, and we just have special dogs, okay? All right, we're going to take our break, and I'm sorry, we're going to end it. We don't have more breaks to it. We're going to wrap things up. Tomorrow night, got a guest coming in. We've got some good stuff coming up. Don't forget the Blue Water tent sale coming on this Friday and Saturday. Thank you all so much for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Always do something good for your fellow man today. Enjoy the great outdoors and take care of the outdoors. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.